It starts with this tweet. I mean, this tweet is what put this on my radar. Basically, here Lennox received an email from somebody warning her that Sylvie Spark has been unprompted, spreading rumors about her, saying that she fakes her disability, that she stalks him, and shit-talking her unprompted as this person joined a random Discord server. Now, from my understanding, this all stems from the VT Rainbow era. Basically, VT Rainbow was a progressive VTuber group led by Marina VT. If you guys don't know who Marina VT is, you've probably seen her like naked avatar somewhere during the whole era where in Twitch, where, you know, a lot of VTubers started streaming themselves naked. Do you guys remember that part where Twitch like briefly changed the rules for artists, and that was her? Now Lennox here, she used to be part of this like progressive group, part of Rainbow VT. So when Lennox broke off from Rainbow VT, she spoke about the alleged mistreatment and mismanagement from Marina, from the group. There was also like other things like mishandling allegations of issues with sponsorships, verbal abuse, and more. The group fell apart after that. Everybody in the group basically pretty much left. Now, Sylvie Spark is a really good friend of Marina VT. He is basically like her mouthpiece. So, which is how we're into the situation now. The whole saga between Lennox and Marina was a bunch of back and forth, till at one point Sylvie Spark inserted himself into this back and forth, and then he never left. And since that day on, he's been inserting himself into every single conversation about Lennox that pops up, and he hasn't let it go. It's been over than a year. Yeah, he is Marina's strongest soldier. Now, Sylvie Spark is an editor. He has a large platform on Twitter. Now he's mostly hiding on Blue Sky, and he edits for pretty prominent VTubers. He has sponsorships with Glitch Energy, Corsair. He edits for Sayu. He edits for Vex the Sun Eater, Roy Chiato, Ariel VT, Luca Jin, all these people listed here, which is surprising when you learn about his behavior. So, more background on this person, Sylvie Spark. There's this other VTuber, another creator named Kumbop he's also harassed. He's been harassing Taiga, wishing death on him. Alright, so he's also been one of the big like proponents speaking up against Taiga. Do you guys remember when Taiga lost his channel and he was making a fundraiser? Sylvie Spark was one of the biggest doubters. He was saying things like Taiga scamming his audience for money. He was saying things that he just really dislikes Taiga. Marina was one of the people that disliked Taiga too, so they're always kind of like on the same page in regards to these topics. I wish I could make 13k from lying on Twitter referring to Taiga. Calling it now the money does not get returned. I'd be shocked if he does. It's so wild to see how easy it was to point out the massive flaw in this whole movement, and now people are even starting to cope. Y'all fell for a grift because of your own personal beefs with people and basically did the very thing you thought you were standing against. So do you have the money? Replying to some deleted tweets about Taiga. I'm just establishing that Taiga is stating that he indeed has the money, which was the main question being asked by Hex, which was if they had access or not. Are you convinced yourself Taiga is scamming their fans now? Please don't put words in my mouth. And then here he's wishing death upon Taiga in a voice, not a voice call, in this Twitter. Here is Sylvie Spark and his friend wishing death upon me in a Twitter space he held in 2024 for having a pacifier asset. Wait, there's tons of VTubers that have pacifier asset. Bibu has a pacifier asset. I don't see them flipping out over her asset. Oh, I thought it sounded familiar. This is the same Twitter space where they were talking about Lollipop. Yes. Context, because it wasn't played. Sylvie before this was talking also about other people, and Tokyo was slowly and visibly getting more upset. Wow, okay. These people are unwell, man. But I'm just establishing, I'm just looking into this. I'm just curious about this. You guys will see this sentence said a lot with Sylvie. He excuses his behavior, his little snooping around a lot by saying this, I'm just looking into this. I just want to educate myself. That's like a pattern with him that I've noticed. Now another creator, like there's dozens of creators he's done this to. Just another creator. Never thought I'd have to share it on Twitter. A Twitter doc calling out someone else's awful behavior, but I believe this is the right thing to do. Please read the doc attached detailing Sylvie Spark's awful behavior, written by Cobra Overdrive, and it details how is his mistreatment towards 3 other creators: Mimu de Kenu, Lord Unicrown, and Kumbob. This person is such a rabbit hole, like it would require maybe a 6 hours for him to go through it. I feel like somebody like Kurin Renji would probably do a better job doing that, but it's just to give you guys like the gist of it. Now this other person, Burp, this is on February 24th from last year. I'd advise folk to be wary interacting with Sylvie. We were in a VC once or twice, but he felt comfortable recently reprimanding me for calling out his friend. Our convo devolves into him punching downwards on for VT Rainbow members, yet he claims to be an ally. He also made a doc in response to the Cobra doc, but he didn't actually debunk a lot of the claim, bragged in it, and very much was calling KB a monster. Oh my god. I mean, I think if you just met somebody and they're always already talking shit about somebody else, that I would have all my alarm bells and red flags like blaring. I'd be like, "Aw, stay away." I think Pochkin commented on the Cobra situation, or Kumbob. For transparency, the screenshots label 9 our conversation with me at Kumbob. It has been nothing but an amazing person to work with, and is someone who I now consider one of my best friends. I had understandable fears because of Sylvie's slander, and they're completely unfounded. I also want to note that the only other interaction I had with Sylvie was when I was talking to another friend, praising our editor, because we have the same editor, and Sylvie interjected and proceeded to shit talk our editor and talk himself up instead. Put a real bad taste in my mouth. It takes 0 energy not to be an asshole, and yet, well, for Sylvie, it seems to take a lot of energy. So just to show you that the amount of people reporting on similar situation is crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all the Google Docs, although it does seem interesting. I think that's a rabbit hole for another day. I don't know why Taiga just seems like an easy target, probably because they know they're pandering to the haters and they know it's free points with that crowd. Dunking on somebody online is always free points. But to me, I think one of the most egregious things, and why I'm kind of, jumping on the topic now, is because he is now trying to incite people to email the UK government to get a disabled person evicted from her care facility, under the guise that he wants to educate himself, of course. So, as someone who regularly deals with the British, Australian, and American government and wins, I'll be helping the person Sylvie's trying to screw. I'm currently dealing with cancer, but Sylvie Spark, let's dance, Buttercup. You can't bully me. That's insane that Banshee's dealing with cancer and yet they're still doing this. Props to them. Basically, Sylvie Spark is now reaching out to the UK government to accuse someone's care facility of illegal activity on their behalf, putting them at risk. He's putting a disabled person at risk of homelessness. And a disabled person that's homeless, that's extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. This needs to stop now. You can see here his tweet. Here's the contact page for consumers, right? Might want to give them a call or an email. Might myself actually, because I'd love to ask the question if it's legal for a care home to kick someone out for merely discussing care staff online in a general sense. I also have sent the email, and I would suggest you to do the same, because if that facility is doing something illegal like that, then the government should be informed, because you both have rights. And the thing is, there's more to this. When told the agreement of care staff laid out the clear terms that because, okay, the beef with Lennox and Sylvie has been going on for a while, all right? And, okay, hold up. Where do I start? Where do I start with this? Basically, Lennox posted tweets about the care facility once. I think it was when her account was privated, and she was panicking about something. The care facility was alerted by, quote, what they call internet people, as they put it. And Lennox had like a meeting with the care facility people, and they were like, your stay is conditional on no one posting about the care facility anymore from now on. Now the problem is, because this is happening and Sylvie Spark is inciting people to email the UK government to ask like the care facility about stuff, this could be an issue for her. The thing is, Marina's the only person in the entire internet that could have had like Lennox IRL info, which is why they have strong suspicions that this all stems from Marina. Now I have these like really long screenshots. Yeah, so he's made a document. We'll get through it. It's pretty long, 59 pages. Jesus. On Lennox. And in there, he posted some stuff about the care facility, which is why they're panicking now.
So, how has Marina not been cancelled? It's really hard to sit around and watch her mark people for extinction. There is no humanity in her heart.
There's no humanity in her heart. Maybe because she's making other people do her dirty work now. She's been laying low since the Twitch controversy, and I'm not sure. Both of these people are the kind of people that hide behind the shield of like, I'm an ally, but I'll also bully every single minority. So this is a really long conversation, but it's pretty telling. Sylvie here tweets about, this document. It's like, this is not how I want to spend my evening. This person interjects saying, I used to talk to Lennox. They randomly blocked me because I stayed following one of our mutuals through their controversies. And TBH, seeing all of this, specifically that they clearly interact with and are maybe friends with that podcast, I'm glad they did. I'm sorry you're going through this. Sylvie Spark posting some people, insulting them and saying how much of their audience has changed over the last year, since these are the type of folks trying to defend their harassment. And I think it's because of this that Lennox later tweeted, please stop, what was it? Something about harassment, like stop insulting people on behalf of other people, you're not helping. I think it's because of these tweets. It's like, you're not helping when you're using such strong words. Somebody else came to defend, saying that they saw none of those people during Lennox stream, because Lennox did a stream to address the situation. And Lennox clearly stated that these are not part of her audience, and she disavows their behavior, which is what you're supposed to do. They're the same brand of people as the one who show up to bully Marina for being trans instead of for her horrible behaviors. And Sylvie's like, maybe the people who posted GIF memes telling me to kill myself them, or these people, are we just gonna act like they aren't also just as bad? Obviously, I mean, I can't open these GIFs, but obviously, yes, it's bad. But if Lennox clearly stated that they shouldn't do it, and then they don't listen, and they're not in her community, isn't she doing the right thing? Isn't she moderating her community? Which is what this person is saying. Are we just going to ignore the VOD where Lennox said these people are wrong? Are we going to ignore the part where she told her viewers to not even engage politely with you? Or are we going to put on a mature mindset and understand that these aren't her people? He is actively avoiding watching the VOD, which explains everything. Are we gonna ignore the VOD where they removed the censoring of all the names just so they could point the fingers at other people? The reason I censored all of them, because regardless of whoever it was behind the censor would have changed the point being made. At what point do we acknowledge Lennox's past rhetoric, labeling as evil, vile, disgusting among any other things? Now, I don't know. Do you think when you call someone this kind of stuff, it won't motivate others to treat the subject of that rhetoric to the same degree of respect? Keep in mind, this was in response to me showcasing their past behavior of blaming me for something I never did and never apologizing. I remember walking into her stream where she explicitly said, don't harass anyone. He is 1000% being disingenuous. Okay, thank you, Kendra. No, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. If you're moderating your chat, if you're telling them, she's doing basically the same thing that I do, the not interact policy. Don't even engage. She told her viewers not even to engage with him. So let's see what she's saying about him. I think I know who did this, considering the info that is out there and the fact a certain streamer had my old address. I know I never said anything unkind about a care member. Oh, okay. So they're trying to get her because apparently they spread the rumors that she said something unkind about her care staff, like she's being mistreated there, which is why her facility got some heat. And basically Lennox is like, there's only a single person on the internet that has my info, and it's Marina. And Sylvie is a friend of Marina, so it wasn't such a big stretch in her mind to make that connection. But Sylvie denies it. Lennox here says, I got an email that a member of staff called about my social media concerns, saying I was saying something nasty about staff. So that put her in hot water with her care facility. Now she's tweeting here, deleting this and unprivating soon, issue resolve. Lots of misunderstandings. Staff know I wasn't unkind and that it was replies from people. I'm trying my best to sweep it under the rug and move forward to come back to streaming soon. Thank you all for your patience. Alright, so this is the part of the screenshots that I'm the most interested in, because Lennox's partner Sky comes into the conversation and Sky says, these tweets were made while privated and then deleted for a reason. They reference Len's house and care, and the company providing those warned Lennox that any posts referencing care or housing will lead to the loss of such, and that they found out from an online source. Please just delete this. Sylvie responds, they were deleted because they accused me and another person of trying to ruin their life baselessly. He's talking about Marina there. I mean, she didn't even name them. She didn't even name them here. I don't have like the rest of the screenshots, but from what he's showing here, their name aren't even there. If I logged my account and behind it said some large streamer was ruining my life without any evidence, then tried cleaning up afterwards, deleting stuff, that's still slandering someone. So Sky responds, you don't know me, but I'm Len's partner. I was there in the meeting with housing and the care team leads. They told us they received an anonymous online tip that Lennox had been talking about care online and received screenshots of people replying to Len's post calling a carer very horrible things. Marina was literally the only person on the entire internet that had Len's name and address at the time, so is quite literally the only suspect. They privated to hide from care staff. Those tweets were deleted to comply with the terms laid out in the meeting. We do not want to pursue legal action. Sylvie responds, in that agreement, is there anything regarding someone else screenshotting it? Because those tweets do not insult the staff at all. Rather, it's again baselessly accusing me and another person of trying to ruin their life, which is extremely reckless and dangerous. The agreement laid out very clear terms that any post referencing Len's care staff and house can violate tenancy. It's very scorched earth, but they're old and not tech savvy. Okay, basically Sky is just begging him, please take down the screenshots. Like, please just take down that one page from your Google document, because Lennox is going to be in very big trouble with the care facility. We don't want them to end up on the street. But Sylvie categorically denies. He's like, unless I can see this agreement, I have very, very hard time believing your side of this, based on the pattern I'm starting to notice from Lennox. Sky responds, please delete posts that display any reference to care staff, or housing. That is all. Please, you said you want all this to stop many times throughout your doc. Please, if you want this to stop, that is all you have to do. Take down references to care staff, or housing. Man, 2 for 2, huh? Because you're right, I do want this to stop. However, I know even if I delete those tweets, it won't stop, because Lennox has had over a year to stop tweeting about me, but they have refused to do so. Hell, I would have never posted the doc if they didn't decide to randomly start talking about me again on the 12th, citing an anonymous email. This is the email that I started the stream with. An email from the 23rd of February as justification. I'm sorry, but are you so bored that you need to go back to 2 weeks old emails with no backing to talk about? Because that's the standard for complaining about someone. I can cite public and private testimonies about Lennox's history of being emotionally manipulative. Hell, that VOD is a prime example of it, because they ignore evidence I provided. Such as when they tried to state I confirmed botting and that an ex-Twitch staffer backed it. Only, no I didn't. But also that ex-staffer claim came from Lennox's ex-manager, who was full of shit. Oh, and because this was skipped, here's a Dora confirming Lennox was spreading rumors. It was not, and then Sky responds, it was not skipped. Every single thing you mentioned is in the VOD. I'm not here to debate you. I'm just here to get you to take down things displaying references to care staff or how. I don't know why Sylvie refuses to take down the Sky request and keeps like pushing back on random things. I think he can do all his other claims without putting down the Lennox household stuff. And it looks bad on him. It looks terrible on Sylvie for him to do so. Like it's just not gonna work out for you. I don't know why he keeps rebutting. I really don't understand why he keeps rebutting. He's like, please take down, you know, the care staff or housing. That's all. Oh yeah, but Lennox is manipulative, and she said that about me. And then she started talking about the email, and she's like, then Sky just keeps repeating, I just want you to take down that one page. I'm not here to debate. And then he kind of outs himself for not reading, for not viewing the doc when Sky is like, every single thing you mentioned is in the VOD. Lennox didn't even skip over it. Not from what I've been told by at least 2-3 people who've watched it. Oh my god, the second. Hell, even someone cited the timecode where Lennox repeated the debunked claims by Aaron. So here he admits to not watching it. Sky responds, it's worth repeating that I'm not here to debate. I just want you to remove things showing reference to care staff and housing. But here, a timestamp. The VOD is in chronological order going down the document, by the way, if you want to find something in particular. Then he responds that literally changes nothing. Again, I need proof because when your partner has spent over a year slandering and lying about, I found them, and people closely associate with them to be unreliable because it's worth less than 1 pence to me. Is it just me or... Yeah, I feel like is he dodging the questions? I feel like he's never answering anything that's being addressed. Your dog can still exist without any screenshots that are displaying reference to care staff or housing. Email me the agreement if you can. Why would he email you the agreement? Because I do not trust you, sorry, but neither you or Lennox have been trustworthy and have demonstrated numerous times to be emotionally manipulative. He doesn't let go. He's like a bull, stubborn. The only justification they are saying for why this should be deleted is Linux was told not to do that. Post tweets referencing their home and care. Now the tweets themselves actually suggest someone contacting the staff, suggesting me or the other person were the ones who did so. I wonder what they're always avoiding naming Marina. I'm sorry, but no, what Lennox alleges in those very tweets is genuinely insane to make baselessly and extremely reckless on their part. It's not a case of, oh, I hope you go homeless. It's a case of, you made an extreme accusation about 2 people that could negatively impact their lives. Also, to tweet this kind of stuff around the time of my panel, nah, I'm good, thanks. Maybe don't accuse people of shit they didn't do and expect to not be spotted by people who might know better. To me, it's more them trying to cover their tracks after getting caught. It's literally 6 hours of context. Sylvie's a power-tripping narcissist. When a manipulator is not in control of the flow of information, they will try everything they can in order to silence or cut off that route of info. They likely thought no one could catch them while locked, but unfortunately for them, they were. We just read that one. Oh yeah, I forgot that before that there was like, oh my god, there was so many... Oh yeah, there's this. He just goes on a tangent talking about that he's been staying up this entire time, preparing his panel and preparing his slides for his panel. Okay, but I generally have no idea what your info even is, bro. I'm not some super hacker who can track down personal info. I often forget my Discord password. Along with that, during the time of these tweets, I was prepping for my panel, including making every single presentation graphics. And then he's showing like the dates of when's the last time he modified the files. I was so confused why that had anything to do with this. Sky responds, this has nothing to do with anything I said. Marina was the only person with Len's name and address, and as such was the only suspect. You are not being implicated. I'm not here to debate. I'm purely here trying to avoid housing hearing about any further references to care staff, or housing. But this was before Linux actually moved into their care center, right? Because they moved during February 2024, because that's when I tweeted about Aaron. If the call happened in May, then Lennox would already be in the care center. So technically speaking, how would Marina get their address? Once again, the VOD explained all this, but it is public knowledge that Len moved 2 miles from their address. This was the only care facility within that radius, They were also notified long prior, not engaging with this further. Please remove anything with references to character, staff, or housing. So you're suggesting that someone months after the fallout decided to Google any care center within 2 miles of Lennox OG's address to only now make a complaint? When was the complaint made then? Surely you'd know, right? What I'm suggesting is that if housing see any more references to care staff or housing, Len can lose their care in house. This is a very specific request. Surely you can understand that you can still make your points without the need to show reference to care staff or housing. This sounds illegal, because a quick search about assisting living facilities suggests there's only a handful of reasons you'd be forced out of a care home, none of which states mentioning staff online in a general sense as one of them. If the facility is forcing someone into silence, red flag. I think he's switching the topic here. The initial problem was because allegedly the person calling the facility was saying that Lennox was mistreated by a carer. Sky responds, yes, it's a red flag, but it's all they could get and I do not want them to lose it. Please just remove any display of reference to character, staff, or housing. Yeah, Sky handled this pretty well. I mean, Sky isn't trying to debate anything. They're just like, look, you can make all your points, you can make all your criticism, just remove that from your Google Doc. I don't see what is helping your Google Doc. Was there a reason why Sylvie was adding this to the Google Doc besides, like, does it add anything to his argument? I very much doubt so. But yeah, I mean, look, I feel like that Sylvie person is actually unhinged, and the thing with unhinged people is that sometimes it's not even worth like covering them on stream, because they could go after you next, and when they start obsessing about somebody, they'll clearly obsess over a really long time. So at one point, you know, some of my mods were like, are you sure you want to do this? But I feel like I have to do this at this point. I feel like this is awful and this is not right. And I was like, Rima, you're a strong and capable woman. You can do this. I do think I have to speak up when there's unfairness like this. Yeah, it's kind of like the, I don't know if it's as bad as Falter X, but it's getting close to it. Since I am in chat, I will make clear I covered every sentence and a screenshot he shared and explained everything in depth so he couldn't say I avoided shit, and he still did. It's exhausting. I'm sorry you had to go through this, Lennox. I mean, it sounds like he didn't even watch the VOD. That's probably why he's saying you didn't. But as far as I know, now he took down the part about the care facility, right? I saw some recent screenshot, we're gonna go over it, where he's kind of making excuses about it. Yeah, you have our support, Lennox. It is disgusting. It is disgusting punching down on somebody like this. Attacking their home. And basically, listen, it's alleged, but because there's no way anybody involved, we can like pinpoint exactly how they doxed Lennox care facility, but there was doxing involved somewhere along the line. I don't know who did it, but it ain't cool. Somebody contacting your point of residence, that is fucking scary. I would be fucking shaking if that happened. I'm confused why he hasn't met any consequences yet. Why he's still employed by some large VTubers. I'm confused about that part. Do they know about this? What's going on? But there is some clients that did end up dropping him. We're getting to that. I want to read those screenshots first, though. No, it's not yet. No, true. It's a good point to. It's not publicly doxed. It was just the online tip, and the rest has been private because I'm smart for what I share. Good job, Lennox. It's not publicly doxed, indeed, but what do you even call that? Like a private doc? Somebody behind the scene somewhere, we don't know who, got their hands on your information. For me, it's the fact that there's so many people coming out and talking about this guy and talking about having horrible experiences with this guy, and it's like, okay, we're gonna see the needy drama in a sec after this. And these are two very different situations. In the needy drama, people are dogpiling and adding a bunch of useless stuff to it because they want to just dunk on somebody. Now, this is like a pattern of behavior that we're noticing with multiple people. It's like he's been harassing multiple creators, and they all have their separate stories with him. He'll have you believe he's totally innocent, but fact is 30 plus people have all had identical experience with this guy and individually came forward about how he slandered them, just like Lennox claimed. Individually came forward is really the key word there. That is really what, you know, it drives the point home for me. Okay, anyway, this end of the screenshot is really just nitpicking. You mean censor the word staff care, etc.? I'm sending you them in DMs now and then dropping this. But answer what I ask. Are you specifically referring to the word staff care? I'm not sure why he wants this information. Like, I don't get it. This sounds illegal, blah, blah. We read this. It's a red flag. Then he puts in the consumer's right page. Might want to give them a call or email. Sky responds, you're free to do whatever you wish in your spare time. But please, I ask you, you use a bit of that spare time to remove anything displaying reference to care staff, or housing. Not until I have actual proof that you and Lennox aren't full of shit. Frankly, you can't prove yourself to be trustworthy. Right, look, we cannot share private documents from the care company to anyone outside of the care company or social work. How is that so difficult to understand? But if you're not willing to just delete them, all you have to do is literally just censor your screenshot to not include any mention of care staff, or housing. Tell you what, I'll even do it for you. I will literally give you edited versions that remove mention of the endangering info without hindering your points. I was in the meeting, I witnessed it, but I will not debate further. That's all I'm asking. Please, just one small thing. Also, just because it occurred to me, wouldn't the VOD be in violation of the agreement? Especially the section you sent me earlier? Bro, I am losing my patience. I'm not even in this conversation. I've seen chunks of the VTubing sphere just look the other way when it comes to this kind of bad behavior being exposed with multiple testimonies. Jeez. What? Even with Sky giving him the censor screenshot, he still put whatever he wanted? Very true. People have looked away because he was well connected with some big indies. I don't know. I don't know why he can't let the discussion go. It's not even in his best interest. This is recent. New narrative dropped. Actually, I wanted to ask about the Consumers' Right Act, if it was legal for a care facility to force a resident into such agreement. Not saying any name specifically, and more just wanting to inform myself better. So okay, chat, he just wanted to inform himself better about somebody else's care facility that has nothing to do with him. He was just going to email the UK government to ask if there was anything illegal going on there. He wasn't trying to do anything. Come on,
Rima.
guys. I don't know, man. How do you dodge people who dox, harass, and do illegal stuff? You stay away from them and try not to poke the hornet's nest too much. But the problem is, because they're scary like that, then they never get called out for the behavior. Although there's another part for this screenshot. It's this. Also, how the fuck would I be able to even give names anyways? I don't even know anything about Lennox's IRL info outside of them being Scottish. Oi, you! Yeah, you. Hi. If you're not subscribed to my second channel, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So take a moment, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell on. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now let's get back into the video. So recently, there's also been, this was yesterday, one of their clients dropped him, TFM Johnny, the Wolfboy VTuber. I appreciate everyone reaching out, so I want to clarify, Sylvie Spark is no longer working with me. This is simply an update and not an endorsement of Lennox Kupo, given past conflicts and association that don't align with my values. I hope both parties can find a resolution. He is really passive aggressive, yes. His behavior rubs me the wrong way. I didn't show this. Sylvie Spark has blocked me before posting his document. Here he is apologizing to me for the very same thing he's currently denying. And here's him that's crazy. So he's in Lord Unicrown and Kamo Ninja's DM apologizing. Hey, I wanted to reach out and say that I'm really sorry for how I acted, yada yada. Hey, I know you likely don't want to hear from me, but I wanted to reach out at the very least to tell you I'm genuinely sorry for how I acted towards you. I jumped the gun regardless, blah, blah, blah. But then he blocks them And then he posts his document and he denies everything in his document. But in DMs, he's spinning another story completely. During the time working isn't that insane? During the time working the live show, you put me through so much. You pushed me through the edge of suicide, which is why I ended up going to therapy for years to undo what you did to me. How dare you claim otherwise? You have fallen from the person I thought you were when I first knew you. The only positive I can glean from ever knowing you was ended up meeting the love of my life. And you tried to take that away while I was in the hospital for a concussion and COVID. So tell me, why are you lying now? The fact that you blocked everyone before you sent this means you never wanted us to see it. I assume this was before the Twitter block changes. You wanted an echo chamber to discredit your victims again. When Unicrowd responded, Sylvie edited the doc about Cobra's doc. He does that always. He did that. Yeah, he edited Lennox's doc 3 times. And I have the different versions, but I'm only gonna show the latest version because that's the version that's the most censored, and I just kind of want to be, you know, safe in that regard with protecting Linux information. Lethal reached out to more than your ex. She reached out to multiple people who confirmed it was you. Delete whatever you want. I already archived my entire Discord, including all messages. Sheesh! Lord Unicrown with the steel chair. This is the kind of people that's always ready to pick a fight. And not only that, but they're huge hypocrites. Calling themselves progressive, calling themselves open-minded, but yet will not hesitate to dunk on minorities, disabled people, etc. I think it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's hypocrite. Also, I think it's TVA has a full archive of him. I'm not gonna go through that. Bunch of slurs that he used, defending his usage of slurs, especially the F word, which is odd to me, especially if you're somebody that's supposed to be a big proponent of the LGBTQA+ movement. I don't get it. I think all of that is just a front to portray himself and shield him from criticism. Yeah, I'm not gonna show the screenshots because they're full of slurs. Also, allegedly has pretty bad behavior in his old communities before becoming a VTuber. He has pages on it's funny. What is it called again? He has a page on Encyclopedia Dramatica. Is that like the Wikipedia of drama? What is this? I just saw that he had a page on... Is that a Wikipedia of drama? What is this? Oh, it's like a lolcow wiki? Oh. I didn't click on it. I just saw Encyclopedia Dramatica and I laughed that there was a joke on, that there was like he had a page on it. It's almost like, you know, you're a viral meme, so you become like, so you have a page on the Know Your Meme page. Oh, it's an old Wikipedia by Channers. So this man has been leaving a trail for the past 10 years. Yeah, his behavior dates way back and it has not changed. Let's not forget that he commissioned MLP art from an MLP Shotokan and diaper stuff artist. Similar stuff he calls Taiga disgusting, lots of projecting. Oh, it's always projecting. These type of people, it's always like, my worst enemy is who I was 6 months ago and I hate that person, so now I'm gonna project on everybody else. I don't fucking care, man. There's absolutely no justification whatsoever for trying to get somebody evicted from their care hold... How do you say that? Care hold facility. I don't give a shit. To me, having several people come out and make Google Docs on you, all with similar stories that are not even related, is a huge red flag. Stop talking shit about people. Stay out of drama. Keep your head down. Focus on your work, focus on your editing. You shouldn't be involved in so much drama. Aw, Lennox. Fun fact, he was retweeting a post been made going after a gamer sub sponsor. It seems today Glitch was looking into their sponsorship. You reap what you sow. I thought Marina had already lost her Glitch sponsorship back when the Twitch drama happened. He does it all in private is the problem. Yeah, he seems like he does it behind the scenes, DMing people and stuff. So he wants to roleplay as some sort of shadow agent that has dirt on everyone. It strikes me as odd to just slide into people's DM and start talking smack about somebody else. I think a mature people would immediately recognize that this person, if somebody that you just met is trying to drag you into their drama, I would be like, oh, hold on, I'm not getting involved in that. I don't care about your drama with somebody else. Oh, so apparently Sylvie RT'd a post from some guy who's very well known for hating Kersha and Pippa and is trying to get gamers up to remove Kersha from the sponsorship. Okay. Well, man, don't throw stones from the glass house. And I guess I'll just repeat this. I'm sorry, but I need to say this. Y'all don't care about people harm if you use a situation to attack and say disgusting things to people on either side. I don't care what your justification is. It just lets them get away with more and it harms the victim. Stop. People can't get better that way. So, yeah. Again, do not interact with them. Don't try to attack people on either side. I think the most you can do is correct misinformation if you see some. But, any bad behavior will be used against Lennox, okay? So don't do that. I know you guys aren't like that, but it's good to repeat it. He tries by preying on people too shy or too professional to call his BS, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of large VTubers, they don't ever tweet about drama. If they cut ties with somebody, they'll just cut ties quietly. Yeah, attacking people is never the right way to de-escalate, exactly. My name is Cobra Overdrive. I'm writing this document with the intention to support others' claims of harassment and general reprehensible behavior from Sylvie Spark. For this, I talk with a variety of people who have seen the worst aspect of this repeated behavior. The part of the document is a retelling what Mimu shared with me through Discord messages. I was given consent to speak on her behalf and share her experience with Sylvie. To quote her, I do not mind, I want to be heard. I want people to finally listen. This is from all the way back in 2020. Mimu started interacting with Sylvie back in 2020 while they worked together alongside Kumbob, eventually becoming friends in 2021, and during that time she suffered such harassment that led her to not being able to take care of herself. The first time Sylvie hurt Mimu's feeling was during a Christmas event held in 2021 for which she was asked to sing a holiday song that he would later edit to make sure the audio was good. He would go on to edit her recording while in a VC that had both of them and a few other people hanging out in, and at one point proceeded to repeatedly play the same portion in which she sang off-key for everyone to listen and laugh. While Mimu didn't feel comfortable at the time to mention how she was hurt, this did lead to her feeling comfortable about singing in front of people to this day. In a separate instance, Mimu shared personal information about her relationships with Sylvie, trusting him to keep it to himself. Yo, I would not trust any info with this person. She would find out that he had actually told his ex, who then spread the information to other people. This was a total breach of trust. This forced her to have to open up about a personal aspect of her life to individuals that had no reason to know this. The most impactful exchange between Mimu and Sylvie happened while they were both working on Kumbob's Love Ends show, a project for which she was asked to help in a casual way. Sylvie was in charge of explaining to Mimu how to manage the Excel spreadsheet that was used to allocate time for the people that were participating in the event and for those donating. Even though she was able to perform her task without issue, the event suffered some technical issues that were out of her control. A solution was offered by the team, but Sylvie found it not to be up to the standard he wanted to enforce, something that he wasn't asked to do nor expected from the people participating. To make matters worse, he went on to talk down and verbally berate the team to the point of making Mimu cry, thus forcing the people in charge to get involved as to avoid further harassment. Mimu's experience showed how Sylvie is okay with breaking his friend trust and how he will hold them to a standard that ends up being harmful to them. Now I'm curious to read the rest. I can't stop. I'm going down this rabbit hole. This section will consist of Unicron's message copied straight from our Discord chat, with any editing done for formatting purpose to add context. Okay, there's a lot of issues that I've seen come from him, but I can safely say that him acting like that is not a surprise, and it's very similar to actions I've seen him try with others. From my personal experience, it started a few years ago, about a month or two into my relationship with Lethal. He began going into VCs with her and people we considered friends at the time. From there, he would tell people, and I quote, "Uni could only think with his dick and KB would steal him away." People ended up saying that some information to Lethal, to the point she was having panic attacks and severe trust issues from a previous relationship. Me and her ended up talking things out over several hours, including finding out he was intentionally spreading misinformation as vengeance for some self-perceived slight. When Lethal confronted him for all these lies, he accused her of siding with abusers when she is a victim of that from the past and knowing full well. From there, I ended up having to threaten to share all of the DMs he sent that showed who he truly was, just to get him to stop harassing us. From then on, you saw the rest with our conversation in the mod chat, with shutting him down when he would be intolerable. In this section of the document dedicated to screenshot, you'll be able to find Unicrow's response to the actions referenced in the excerpt above. I'd like to point out for those reading that this is one of the several instances in which Sylvie was willing to spread misinformation with the sole purpose to cause emotional harm to people. And to make matter worse, he was once confronted about his lies. He decided that the best approach was to blame a victim of abuse in a way that painted him as the one with the moral superiority. Just wow. So the Kumbob part. This section of the document is what I believe to be one that better encapsulates all of Sylvie's worst attitude and behavior. And is Kumbob's reading of events copied verbatim from the text she sent. Oh, sorry, Kumbob is a girl, my bad. Any editing done is for formatting purpose or to add context. So what I'm going to do is write out pretty much from start to finish, the past of me and Sylvie. It'll be long and I'll include evidence for each aspect that I can for the document. But I just want to lay out what the situation is with him. I was scared to ever come out with this because of his connections with big companies and VTubers. Everybody is scared to come out against this guy because of his connections with companies and VTubers. I didn't want to take that chance, but I'm done hiding. He's hurting too many people. Me and Sylvie met back when I started my VTubing career, and I would come frequently in my chat. We eventually became friends, 2 best friends, and then lovers. We were involved in an open, polygamous relationship in November 2020, which he agreed to with my ex, who is also later my, I guess I should say, rapist. Sylvie would always praise me, say I was the best thing to happen in his life, but he was so very smothering. He would constantly dump his issues onto me, making me feel so overwhelmed dealing with my other partner who was abusive. I felt like his therapist and I couldn't just have fun with him. It was always about him. During the relationship, I messed up on things. Sure, I didn't tell him about being interested in one of our mutual friends. We were in an open relationship, but I digress. I should have been mature and communicated. He was going through a lot of issues at the time. I wanted to wait to discuss, but that is 100% my fault and I'll accept that. I slowly distanced myself from Sylvie. I didn't want to be around him as much. He drained me of the remaining sanity I had, and eventually I left him in late February, early March of 2021. Because my ex at the time said he wasn't healthy for me. The one thing he was right about. Sylvie after this went on a smear campaign behind my back. He claims I emotionally abused him because I distanced myself when he needed me the most. I told him he needed therapy during our relationship, but he just refused to get help. And during an argument, he claims I said, I'm only with you for sex. But in reality, I said, you give me things that Abel, my ex, can't give me. For example, you're better at sexual things and you have the time for me. But he twisted my words and is running with it. Now, me and Sylvie made up in late March, as we both still wanted to be friends. And in April 2021, I was raped by my partner. I messaged Sylvie crying my eyes out, locked in my bedroom away from my ex. He was the first person I told what happened to me. I told him in confidence what Abel did to me. And he goes behind my back without my knowledge and comforts Abel, telling him he loves him and cares about him still. I was just assaulted and he stabs me in the back. I had no knowledge of this until Abel told me, showing me the messages. I felt so sick to my stomach. I threw up on the spot. I didn't know how to process this information. I just felt so betrayed. But internally, I forgave him because he was just trying to comfort Abel, who was mentally ill. So I let it go in the back of my head, but it severely traumatized me. It's traumatizing me reading this. I don't... Let's just keep reading. Sylvie was... I'm at loss for words, so let's just keep reading. I have nothing to add or comment. Sylvie was working with me on my Discord Lovens Vibrator show since January 2021 or so. He was the editor and head mod. He would constantly berate my staff, calling them idiots and that they don't deserve this job. By the way, in his own words in his doc, he did that because Kumbob was going through the trauma and thought she wanted to be friends with him again. And that's the edited answer, by the way. The original one is this, and he blamed his autism. What? He would constantly berate my staff, calling them idiots and that they don't deserve this job. I approached Sylvie and he apologized, but still continued being an ass to my staff. Eventually, I had enough. After learning he was talking shit about me behind my back to one of our friends, who was an ex-employee for the show, telling them confidential information from the show, such as monetary numbers, internal discourses, etc., saying things like, I'm getting what I deserve and she doesn't pay her staff enough. I paid my time master $15 an hour for a 3 to 5 hour single workday twice a month. He threw a tantrum when I told him he wasn't going to edit the latest VOD, and then I had enough and booted him without informing him ASAP. Was that mature? No. But I just didn't want to deal with him at the time. I was done. That's when our ties are cut. He eventually comes back around in my life when his ex, a fellow not safe for work VA, was booted from a voice acting server that I moderate in, after she committed a felony crime of recording a client during a sex call, then to hosting a watch party while drunk with her friends to mock the poor guy, which is revenge porn. Yo. Sylvie approaches me asking what she did wrong, etc., and she didn't deserve this ban. What do you mean she didn't deserve this ban? She's literally sharing revenge porn. What? She did nothing wrong, she was just drunk. Even after I told him what she did, he says, and she's sorry and she was drunk. He proceeds to get busy with me and the other mods for doing their job. Hey, listen, it doesn't matter if she was drunk, it doesn't matter if she was joking. Her server could get nuked for that. This is gonna go back to her. Nah. I would have done the same. That's an immediate ban. And that's when he starts his second slander campaign against me, telling everyone in every server, people who don't even know me, are dirty laundry and how terrible of a person I am and not to work with me. That's when he starts telling all these VTubers to not work with me and approaches everyone I collab with. Oh no, it's going to be another Bunny Ayu kind of thing, where try to control who talks to him, who talks to who. Me and him talked after I approached him about it, and I accepted all of my faults. I let him berate me and insult me. I apologized for my actions during our relationship, and anything that hurt him, he then says, don't worry, we're good now, and starts joking around with me like it's all good again. But what he said severely hurt me. But I thought this was for the best. Oh boy, I was wrong. Oh god. He would talk shit about me and say super misogynistic things behind my back. Why does this not surprise me after I've seen this screenshots of him like spamming the F slur, talking about my relationship and love life, and even stalked me to find out new information about my doings and whereabouts. He knew the name of the man I was seeing at the time when I didn't tell anyone but my close friends about him. How did he know that then? Does he just start obsessing on people and then... Well, I know the answer to this. The answer to this is obviously yes. It horrified me. I felt I couldn't trust any of my friends anymore. He then tried to use me to take down other VAs, asking for information from the server I moderate for, only talking to me when he needed something. Then, my close friend Lethal caught wind he was talking shit about me in another server in VC. Lethal informed me what he said and did. I approached Sylvie again, saying, I thought we made up, what's going on? He then proceeds to go into Lethal's DMs and calls them an abuser, apologizer / protector for telling me what he said about me. What? Wait, he calls Lethal an abuser, apologizer, but Kumbab didn't abuse anybody. Uni, her partner, let him have it after that, threatening him to leave her the fuck alone or everything he said about me to Uni will be publicly broadcasted. See the Lord Unicrown section of the doc for additional details. Oh, it's that Uni. Okay. That was the final straw. We talked, I kept it primarily professional, but after that, that's when I said, we're officially done and I want you out of my life. Yeah, he used to use one of his victims' first name constantly on DeviantArt. He does nearly every time. I wonder how his dog got 220 likes when everyone is dunking on him. Every time there's a Google Doc, it gets likes. People don't even read the doc. Legit, they don't read it. I think Mooj, when he covered like the Genshin Impact situation, and that one dude, what was his name? He made a Google Doc and there was all these big personalities in the replies sympathizing with him. Because people see a Google Doc, their first reaction is to sympathize. Oh yeah, Atsu. Turns out Atsu was the fucking asshole in that entire situation, right? The thing is, no one knows what's going on. You only see their side. You don't know all the other thing unless you're like plugged into the matrix like we are and we know everything about everybody. But hell, I didn't even know about this. That's why now I've learned not to comment on situation. It sucks because sometimes it is valid and you should offer your sympathies, but now I'm more careful about offering my sympathies because I'm like, if I comment nice words to this person and then the rest of the story is revealed and they turn out to be the asshole, then it looks horrible on you. Yeah, people skim it and they're like, yo, sorry this happened, happy for you, but they don't know the entire story. Now, to this day, he goes into people's DMs that I hang out with, collaborate with, people who don't even know me, 3 years later, with a 3-month relationship, trying to smear me to the VTubing community, so nobody will give me the time of the day. I'm done with this, and your misogynistic, cynical comments about myself and my character behind my back. I've talked to my lawyers, and because of his Canadian citizenship and hidden behind the scenes slanders, it makes it more difficult to go to the complete legal route, which I was counting on to get this to cease, not to mention how expensive lawyers are here in the US just for a single hour phone calls. He claims his warning is just for other safety. No, it's malicious. He doesn't care about others but himself and his vendetta. I'm no angel by any means. I've definitely messed up in areas that I wish I could redo, but harassment and beratement for 3 years straight has to stop. Please leave me and the others you're harassing alone. Holy! 3 years for a 3-month relationship and then stuck on Lennox for an entire year. This person is unwell, dude. Let it go. Let it go, Sylvie. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody involved. The email Lennox is fake. He thinks Lennox made that up when it lines up with his behavior 100%. Now, I believe the email. I believe the email 100%. Because there's so many people, when there's so many people corroborating the exact same thing, that makes me believe it a lot more. I literally didn't even know Sylvie, by the way. He was in a VC and the only thing he did in it was shit talk another creator. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. That sounds exactly like him. And I don't even know him, but that's the first thing I know about him. You should read his DMs with Vtuber, the one that somebody tagged me in today. I'd advise folks to be wary of interacting with Sylvie. We're in a VC once or twice, but he felt comfortable recently reprimanding me for calling out his friends. That would make me so uncomfortable to be in a VC with somebody and they immediately start shit talking somebody else. I'm gonna be real. I feel really weird to pin this on Marina when a lot of people were doing it too. Are they talking about the Twitch thing, like the naked Twitch avatar apocalypse? I know you two are friends, so you're gonna cap for her anyway, but her and Fenzi showed up on my front and were the two most blatant VTubers. Yes, it was around the time. Okay, I knew it just from that line. I saw there were other bad faith actors, but those two are both old enough to know exactly what they were doing on a platform that is still considered 13+. Well, no, just because I'm her friend doesn't mean I'm not gonna cap for her. Legit, when I saw what happened, I lectured her hard. I just didn't do it publicly because as her friend, I'd rather do it with her directly. Okay, well, that's not so bad so far. So, like, if you know what she did is wrong, why are you coming into my DMs to condemn me for pointing out her bad behavior? She got him. What I did was come into your DMs to say, hey, it was more than just Marina who broke these rules. Especially since Twitch themselves cited AI shit as a big reason for rolling back the rules as well.
If I add $1 for every bad tuber, it'd be $1.
Listen, yo, that girl is smart. She's clever. She's quick. I don't know. Why is Sylvie batting for Marina so hard? It's not helping him at all. It's not helping him at all. It doesn't bring him anything. I don't get it. Yeah, I wouldn't cap for her, proceeds to cap for her, exactly. And while there are other bad faith actors and people who took this as an opportunity to troll and throw nudity around, Marina and Fenzi played a very large role in it. Lennox, I showed all of his DMs in my VOD too, and it's the same shit he does, straight to shit talking others and making excuses for his friends. I don't doubt it. Some of the people who broke the rules as well have been around for just as long. They know what they were doing just as much. Marina and Fenzi definitely should have known better and realized the impact of their action. Again, not defending them. This is breaking my brain. This is breaking my brain. How is this not defending them when you're making excuses? Marina was the most prolific VTuber to do it. She does have a pretty large platform, especially on Twitter, and I'm sure it felt great to have viewership 10 times her norm, but look at where it landed us. VTubers were mentioned as not being exempt from this nudity rule, but they chose to ignore that part. There were several others who did the same thing. You said she is the most popular, and that comes with responsibility to follow the rules more closely. He's onto something. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that one person alone won't cause Twitch to change the rules like that. Issues like this are often wider, and hell, people were doing the same shit she did before she started her livestream. Just because they were least popular doesn't mean they aren't just as guilty too. Anyway, I'm not apologizing for what I said. You can say what you like. I'm mad at her and her girlfriend for exploiting rules that has painted all of us in a negative light and caused Twitch to firm up on bans again. Oh, so Fenzi is her girlfriend too? I'm not asking you to apologize for what you said. All I'm saying is be careful how you phrase or state things too. Is that a threat? Because you think you're looking out for me or something? We've never spoken outside of the time I met you in a... How condescending is that sentence? Be careful how you phrase or state things too. Alright, back to Burp. Because you think you're looking out for me or something? We've never spoken outside of the time I met you in a voice chat and you told me all about how you can't stand being in the same space as some of other creators. We have no relationship. The VC was about how someone made fun of my dead dog who died that day, but sure. Okay, it's sad when it's died though. I like to say I look out for people I generally have respect for as a creator. I like to think it's in good nature to do so. No, it's not in... What? How is he twisting that into something positive? She says, we've never spoken outside of the time I met you in a VC chat and you told me all about how you can't stand being in the same space as some other creator. So basically you're shit talking somebody else. And then he's saying that VC was about how someone made fun of my dead dog. Okay, but that's not Burb's problem. Why are you even bringing that up? You guys don't even know each other. Like, yes, it's horrible that somebody is making fun of his dead dog, but that is not something I would start saying about a stranger. And then he flips it to say, I look out for people I generally have respect for as a creator. I like to think it's in good nature to do so. Because much like how Marina has a following that will see how she acts and act upon it, so do you. Everyone with a following does have some sort of responsibility with how they present themselves, the stances they take, and how they take them. Yeah, Sylvie, I agree with that. How about you apply that advice to you? Again, you can have any stance you want, but it's how you present it to your audience can matter as well. Sure, but again, you never attempted to speak to me after I had my issues with Marina in said Discord server, or as I had all my issues IRL. It just seems convenient for you to turn up in my DMs to tell me to be careful. Be careful of who? I'm literally talking to you right now about it in DMs. Well, because I'd usually be in your Twitch chat when you were growing. I've been insanely busy with my own work schedule, so I don't get a ton of time to hop into streams. I want to freely watch because I gotta get clips. Be careful of the way my community perceives this? Okay, I can manage my own, but they have listened to me anytime I've had other issues with other creators. I'm just more vague about it. It sounds like genuinely nobody in my community likes Marina because she has gone after creators they like. That's her own doing and totally separate from me. I'm not saying you can't manage it on your own. As for like your community and going after creators they like, I hope they aren't referring to like who's the Shota VTuber, because like that's the only person I can recall that actively did go after someone. Unless they are referring to like Silvervale and Pikami, which she never actually did. She might have did one little vague tweet about the Hogwarts game, but she never went after Silvervale or hell, even Pikami. Wow. I am sure I've seen some screenshots. I'm sure somebody can pull these up. And Taiga mentioned it for no reason. If they believe that, well, everybody's mentioned tweet. If they believe that, they've been watching too much Ref Say Desu or that one bunny news person who, ironically enough, sends his fan to harass the people he talks about all the time. Wait, is he talking about Kyo? Including blaming harassment for getting her. Kyo never's done that. What? Wait, there's everybody's cameo in this. He was like the most objective fucking VTuber ever. What? Nobody's mentioned names, but I can think of friends who've also have had bad experience who you haven't named. Adora? You can say Kyo. He can't get you here. Lol. Oh, sheesh. Well, you can't say his name. He can't get you in here. She's so base for this. I didn't expect this to be so funny to read. Well, TBH, I didn't know how to spell his name. Oh, so he remembers now. Alright, well, if he forgot the H, it would have been so horrible. She might not have recognized who he was talking about. That's funny. I'm not giving out names because I don't know you, and it's not my place to talk about their experience when they're too scared to step forward. Before this gets out of hand, these are screenshots from 2023, by the way. It's pretty old. Before this gets out of hand, I want to add one thing. Like you said, me and her are friends. She's been my friend since 2020, and she's generally helped me out through a lot of my mental trauma that not many people would have been willing to take on or even bother reaching out for. The Twitch thing she did, is generally a fuck up, and I straight up told her and lectured her hard about it because, like, why do you need to be the person to do this? Why potentially put your community in the crossfire of content creation Twitter? I lecture her about all that kind of shit because I've been in content creation since 2013, believe it or not. I'm not asking for names of people, I just know there's also generally a lot of misinformation about her that's honestly is being spread even further because now there's a massive reason to criticize her and hold her accountable. I'm sorry for the bad experience your friends might have had with her. I can't speak for her and I can only give my own personal opinion on how something may or may not have happened. I just want to see people fall into this potential rabbit hole where they might unintentionally create potential harassment towards creators regardless of whether they deserve it or not. I think he doesn't want negative criticism directed at Marina. Like you said before, your fans already don't like her, so you actively posting about how this is her fault and so on. Do you think your fans are just gonna sit there and not see what you're tweeting as a call to action? Okay, but what about you, Sylvie? When you're tweeting out that you should email the UK government about Lennox Care Facility to see if there's any illegal activities going on there, to ask them if there's anything illegal going on there, what about that then? Wouldn't your community see this as a call to action? Oh really, Sylvie? So Burp responds, they're not about to go jumping down Marina's throat if that's what you're implying. How do you know that? Lol, because nobody in the Discord wants to stay on this subject. They dislike her, but they're not drama-hungry cretins who want to harass others. I nearly forgot the fact that Sylvie got mad that Vettel was getting a deal with either the plush mark— Wait, was it him? Oh my god, was it Sylvie that responded saying that Neuro was a racist Holocaust denier, referencing the incident of Neuro getting banned? Oh my god, I remember that! I remember that! I was like, I had no idea who she was, if she was an AI or anything. And I was like, what? No way! That's crazy! No, that's horrible. And I look into it, and I'm like, what? And I see the actual thing, I'm like, what the how can people be making this into a big deal? It's clear, it was clearly a faulty algorithm. Okay, he fixed it after. She's a robot. She's an AI, sorry. I'm gonna use the right term. She just reacted to what chat said. This is silly. This is so silly to die on this hill. He's also tried to act like Shondo's unironically racist and posted about it a lot on Twitter. He's probably the kind of person that thinks like Shondo wants men to beat their wife like unironically. And it's all a joke. Well, that's great for the Discord, but not all your fans are on Discord. Burp responds, and anyone who goes after her is not truly a community member. My community hasn't gone after her any other time I mentioned her, so it's funny you're trying to play devil's advocate with me. What you actually playing at? I'm speaking from my experience as a content creator for over a decade. It's very easy to say, well, my community would never do that, but have you ever gone and checked? Before I left VTX, I saw Faye and another VTuber offering to spy for Marina and Devil. Like, how do you know? What's your defense for that? I don't know. I need to get more context and information about that first. But that's also not like the topic. Lol, of course. Okay. Now he's the one that wants to stay on topic. I ask, how do you know if your community isn't gonna see the stuff you say as a call to action? Yes, it is. It's related. You're pointing fingers at me for something Marina's actually done. What? No. I came to you giving caution for how you or make statement about things. Yeah, he's just trying to advise her as a friend. And how do you explain all the stuff Marina's done? Oh, she's linking a Lennox tweet here. Yes, it is Marina related, but it could be literally about anyone else. Another Linux tweet, but I don't know what it is. Got proof? This isn't just comfy Linux spouting stuff that has no evidence to even support. We can talk about Linux all you want because they were gonna be on a podcast hosted by a guy named Mizu, a known racist and transphobe who actively misgendered Linux the whole time. Tonight on Under the Tea, Comfy Linux, a former member of the VT Rainbow group, has agreed to come on and give their side on how things have gone. We also have the comments from other members and plan to talk about it. I mean, I think most of the time when people like misgender somebody, like I misgender Kumbob earlier, it's just because I didn't know. Like, if I'm gonna call somebody the right pronoun, I'm fine with it. Doesn't change anything for me. It's usually just out of ignorance. And people who die on that hill are, like, ridiculous. True! Marina was also on that podcast. I remember. Marina also went on that podcast. Marina was the first guest on the podcast? Shut up. Yeah, none of them are transphobic. They're pretty gender fluid. I don't know where this comes from. Yeah, and Mizu is a fanboy. Okay, so now Burb responds, you still in the VTX Discord? Sylvie Sparks respond, yeah. Burb says, good. And now there's a what is this, a DM? Hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up that you pissed off the VT Rainbow people enough that a couple of their friends are trying to spy on you. I don't really want to get involved. I just think that what they're doing is dumb and petty. Go look at October 9. Bar.names offered to spy for Marina, so I warned Dev because we're friends. Will do. While I do that, give me any sort of credible evidence for anything Lennox said. October 9th of this year? Wait, hold up. Does it say this year in the screenshot? It's 2022. Damn, she's so sassy. I kind of like that. I'm into her. I had 3/4 of the VT Rainbow backing me up publicly, so it's kind of unfair of him whenever he does this. Yeah, I mean, didn't the whole group fall apart? Isn't that pretty telling if every member walked out? The burner can said, I also don't trust Linux because to this day I haven't seen a single screenshot or shred of truth to any of their claims. Sounds like BS. Same talking points. The one I sent in my DMs to bar.name because I would have told her around the same day. That's actually really cruel of you to dismiss Linux like that too. All because they went to talk to someone you don't like, especially when other former VTR members backed them up. Oh yeah, she's also saying that. I asked for proof actually. Oh my god, it's exhausting. Because what Lennox is alleging is serious allegations. Now I did speak to them in DMs because I wanted to know, and the claims they gave me I was able to debunk. The one I sent in my DM to Dev because I would have told her around the same day. That's actually okay, we've read that, sorry. I was able to debunk. Okay, debunk them then. Sure. What would you like me to debunk first? Because I have no reason to think they're lying. I do, because I know their manager. Oh, is it like Aaron? Why do I feel like I've also heard that name before. And here's where Linux is specifically disrespected. Debunk everything you think is untrue. Like, how is it that everyone else in VTR, like VT Rainbow, is lying? It's not like I did a 15-page doc calling out Aaron. Is it the same Aaron that's Bunny Ayu's manager? I've heard that name before, and I'm wondering if it's the same, because the other person was also a manager. And everyone called Aaron. Yes? No fucking way. There is no way. How are all the bad actors somehow connected? Dude, the VTubing scene is so fucking small. Dude, there's all the usual suspects popping back. Okay, well, for as far as I could, no one actively was misgendering Linux in VT Rainbow. No text messages or anything could be found. Also, in my own experience, I would actually correct me if I wrote or said her instead of they. Kumo definitely ain't lying about y'all casting her aside for anything remotely lolly because I know that's exactly how you folks are. Oh boy, you're about to get a wake-up call then. Now you might be asking why this is the case. Why is their manager important? Well, are you familiar with Evil Bunny? Oh, there it is! Nope. Well, Evil Bunny used to be a pretty high-tier manager for a lot of creators. We're talking Mono, Krika, and the works. She had tons of clients until 2022 when she lost all of them. Then the Twitlonger started appearing Needless to say, this seriously damaged Evil's Bunny's reputation, and she went dark for about a year. She's recently making a comeback in the VTuber scene with recruiting smaller to medium-sized VTubers. I was roped in myself as an editor actually, and did several things for free under the promise of payment through sponsorships and streaming growth later. Things started going downhill though when Erin, Evil Bunny, started gossiping again, starting encouraging people in her VCs to talk gossip about people we had issues with or didn't like. So the exact same thing Sylvie's doing. She'd take and basically use it to further sympathize with us. It should be noted that to Sylvie, there is no evidence, screenshots, recorded voice calls, etc. It didn't happen, and you are the liar. But as with us, an explanation trick to make us believe she actually gave a shit. In reality, she was doing next to nothing for any of us and would often use one of her clients to pitch stuff to another. She used one of her clients actually to pitch me the idea of a VTuber group, which in the second tweet longer is nearly the exact same thing she tried to pull with another editor in order to get more free edits. However, as the gossiping would continue, they would become more and more unhinged in terms of the scale. One thing could start off as like, well, I wish the person would talk to me more, and she'd encourage it to the point here, I don't know what the fuck's this person saying. The person is a massive sexist piece of shit, which is exactly happened to Lennox in my opinion. Why? I was sitting in those VCs. I witnessed Erin essentially coast Lennox into a rabbit hole of anxiety and manipulating their sense of justice, which is likely why Lennox went so publicly with stuff that again, after I bothered to do the smallest amount of fact-checking, showed to be false. When Lennox was gonna go onto that transphobe / racist podcast, we tried to stop Lennox because if they did go on it, it would ruin their reputation within the LGBT plus community, since Mizu believed trans people are groomers. Again, Marina went on that podcast that POC creators are racist because they had a special event to themselves a year ago and is a huge supporter of Lolicon Shotacon. When people cite that as a thing that's supposed to be bad, I just lose interest immediately. Where am I? There's such a wall of text here. Okay, so when I reached out to Erin to tell her not to let their client essentially ruin their reputation, she refused. Now, why would someone refuse to stop their client from creating a PR nightmare for themselves like this? Why would Lennox lie? How could they lie about something like this? To me, and based on my own experience, I think Lennox and even Kumo are being influenced by someone who would really benefit from someone like Marina, who runs VT Rainbow, to lose all of her members, and then Evil Bunny could come and scoop them all up. It's why the majority of Erin's current clients are former members of VT Rainbow. There's so much more I can go into here, but it's just the tip of the iceberg of this whole thing. That's why I say, where's the proof of any of the claims, Lennox? Where's the proof of stuff that you yourself have already established as facts? Kumo never knew Erin, and I did exactly what Erin told me not to do, lol. I don't know what he's smoking with that take. To bring this back to the topic at the start of this all though, should you be able to criticize Marina for what she did? Absolutely. What she did was stupid and she should rightfully be held accountable. It is fair though to blame her as if she was the main reason why Twitch rolled back the policy, even when Twitch themselves noted it had more to do with AI related stuff. I don't remember that. It was never about AI related stuff. No, I don't think it's fair to frame it like that, because what they'll do is create a framing that pins all the blame on Marina, which someone who needs to go touch grass will see and act upon. They don't even need to be your biggest fan. They'll see what you wrote as a call to action to justify their own feelings towards someone and act upon it. That's why it's important how you phrase and frame things. It's important to remember the wider picture. If somebody barged into my DMs and started talking to me like this, I'd be like, talk to my hand. I don't care. Absolutely, you can criticize Marina for what she did. I've done so myself and even poked fun at it on Twitter. Accountability is important to maintain. My main message is just to be careful, not to apologize for criticizing someone who rightfully deserves criticism. Okay, so since we're coming back to this, are you DMing everyone who has made a pointed remark about Marina and Fenzi, or just me? No, just because I respect you as a creator and I saw something potentially problematic in your framing and gave you my perspective on it. He used the word problematic. I've already just, he's lost. I'm bugging out because I can't take this seriously anymore. And TBH, I doubt that you do. Sorry, I don't know you. I don't know how do you think you respect someone you don't know. I said as a creator. My point still stands. You can like creators who are still deplorable. I can respect the grind. I've witnessed you go through. Yeah, I don't chat a lot in your chats, but as I said before, I don't often get to see streams I choose to watch because of my work. I'm also not out here looking to justify for my friend. Yes, man mentally is something I actively hate because it's not productive. If you give a shit about your friends, you will hold them accountable. That doesn't have to be a thing done publicly either. There's a maturity to discussing something in private and directly. The blowback Marina's receiving, not just from myself, but from enough people that she is trending on Twitter, is due to her own actions. I can show you what I told Marina if you'd like. I respectfully don't care to see what you said to her. I'm not saying you're the one responsible for it all. You're just someone I thought that I respected and felt like talking to you directly about being cautious about how you frame stuff. If you say so, then I offered. Alright, well, thanks for, quote, looking out for me, I guess. The comma, I guess. No problem. Also, just going back to this, if they're referring to Marina's server, this is an active lie. There is an age limit and it's for adults only. I had to literally ask her. No one in the group knew, not even those closer to her. I was frantic because there were kids and I wanted them out for rules established. It was a fucking mess. The group ran for like a year with no age boundary. She tweeted with the Ben Affleck smoking, looking over it. It's the unsolicited advice for me, TBH. He slid into my DMs unprompted when I saw I was collabing with KB to tell me about how horrible their romantic relationship was, as if that had any bearing on my work with her. I'm so glad I trusted my gut, because KB is wonderful. Okay, Poach is so based here. Lennox responds, he did the same thing with me when I spoke up about VTR. I never felt comfortable enough sharing because people keep coming to my DMs to convince me otherwise, but it's a habit of his. To use his experience to tell you what you're doing is wrong, give quote-unquote advice and talk down, of course. Taking mansplaining to the next level, apparently. This conversation is so condescending towards you just because you didn't agree with his word. I hope you're okay. I was pissed off when I got over it, seeing y'all have awful experiences with him pushed me to give my own 2 cents. Having someone talk down to me like this was insulting. I'm genuinely so sorry he did this to you. It's so fucking concerning to me that he was in God knows how many people's DMs asking them to prove my claims. People who don't even know me at all. Who knows what harm he has caused to others? Why is he trying to control the narrative so much? You cannot control other people. You cannot control what they think of you or your friends. It's gonna be like a Streisand effect. What? He also slid into my DMs to get uncensored DT targeted as Silver Veil for his essay about transphobia, which he never made, and then shit-talked her NV Shoujo. Ugh. It's so funny that Sylvie claims he can debunk everything, is specifically asked to debunk Linux claims, does not bring up a single claim she makes, and just talks about Aaron for 6 paragraphs. True! True! This Delulu guy just needs to get offline and put the fries in the bag. Agreed. Hi, Loom Loom. Nothing much. We just went over the burp DMs. That was hilarious. Banking on people like me who don't usually get involved in callouts, I suppose. Are you sure your community won't see this as a call to action? Oh, that's rich, knowing who he's defending. And if he isn't showing... True, dude. Marina's done so much of this. Don't even try. And if he isn't showing in plain writing that he's one of the people Marina would often send when she didn't get her way, plus illustrating the extreme power imbalance she had. He's her guard dog. What other cronies does she have? I don't know. I don't actually know. Yes, you did. I did miss a lot. I know I remember watching a stream about the whole VT rainbow thing. It's kind of like when you read a book, like I don't remember the details. You just remember your feeling coming out of it. And I remember siding very, very much with Lennox, and there was some very good evidence shown into that stream. I think it was a stream from Kurin Renji. He's really good at digging up some stuff about people that have existed on the internet for a long time.
Quick question, did you study journalism? So cool.
No, I'm not a journalist. I never called myself a journalist, and I never will. I'm just a YouTuber. I try to entertain you guys. And I try to do research because I don't think I'm that funny otherwise. So I make up for it with like hard work. Yep, and I covered more this time since he made more info public that I actually tried to keep private for Marina's sake. Oh, wow. Oh, Marina streams are view-botted, by the way, as confirmed by Sylvie. Surprise me not. Shit, we gotta watch that Lennox stream. Yeah, we could do a part 2. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.